slash pocket. So I've got my one side done here. A nice finish on the outside. I've got this backing here so that we don't see the inside lining that I've got. It's on this side. It's very nice. And here it is on the inside. It's sewn down here and here. And we got our bag there, so we can put our hand inside. Okay, looks very nice. So let's get started. My pieces that I'm going to need are going to be my lining piece that I have cut out here, and this back coverage piece that we have here, and of course that other pant leg here. I'm going to go ahead and take this piece and I'm going to serge these 3 edges here. I'm going to serge these 3 edges here, and then I'm going to go ahead and serge this piece to my pocket lining. Alright, so I would have left this edge unserged, but I'm going to just go ahead now and sew it together with this lining here with the serger. I'm just going to pin it down real quick so it doesn't move on me. So now I have that attached here at the one end, and I have my other 3 edges sewn. We're going to go over to my regular sewing machine, and we're going to straight stitch along here to attach that to the lining here. Alright, so here's my lining with this piece here. I don't know if this piece has a name or something. I'm just going to take a couple of pins and pin it down real quick to make sure that it's nice and stable and does not move on me, just because the lining is a bit slippery. Now that I have that pinned down, I'm just going to go ahead and sew a straight stitch on top of that serging that I did before. The next step that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take our pants. So in this case, I'm doing what's going to be the right leg of the pair of pants. This piece is going to go on here on the back, and this piece is going to go folded over like so, and it's going to come on this back side of this pair of pants, like so. So what I want to do though before that is I'm going to go ahead and sew this down. So this piece with the patch that we put on here is going to come like that. This is going to be sewn together, and then it's going to get folded back. And then this is, since it's the pocket, it's going to get folded over again like this. And then that will be showing out on that piece here. Alright. So this goes with this piece down here. My piece was not cut out very well at all, but we're gonna go with it. My measurements for my pocket, I'm going to go over, it's going to be a very slight open on the slash here that I've got of just 2 centimeters. So I'm just going to go ahead and, if I can find my centimeters, I'm just going to go ahead and mark that here. And I'm going to put a pin there so that that does not move on me. Coming down here to the bottom, it's going to be 18 inches in a diagonal. So I got my 18 here at my mark here until the edge of my pants, which is right about there. So 18 inches, I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Alright. as well, just to have that there. All right, so now our step is we're gonna go ahead and do a straight line going down here. So now I've got that line sewn on here. The next step that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and serge this raw edge here. Alright, so now we have that edge, raw edge serged together and sewn together. I'm going to go ahead and clip that serger string there. Our next step is we're going to open this up. We're going to have this seam going down here, and we're going to go ahead and stitch a line as close as we can on the lining side, catching that seam that we made. Okay. If you want, you can go ahead and press it. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I have that seam on that side, and I'm just going to pull it apart gently as I go. We're going to go ahead and take this out here, clip my strings. Alright, so we have that nicely sewn there next to that edge. Now our next step is we're going to fold this back here, and we're going to do a nice top stitch on that edge. Alright, for me, I'm going to go ahead and switch up my thread here. I'm going to use a slightly thicker thread for my top stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and change also my stitch length, and I'm going to change my needle for that. Alright, so I need to change my needle. Alright, so now I'm going to be using a 90-14 needle. Earlier I was using an 80-12. So I'm just changing my needle. There we go. And I'm also going to go ahead and change my stitch length to a larger one, and my tension is also going to be changed on here. Alright, now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and sew along here. I'm just going to use my presser foot for a guide as to how big that I want the stitching on here. And I'm just going to come off all the way off the edge. I'm going to leave my strings a little bit longer, and you can do this on the other side too, instead of doing a back stitch, since that top thread is quite thick. We can leave our threads long, and we can go ahead and manually tie them off. Alright, now that we've got that top line sewn down here on our pants, we're going to go ahead and attach this lining here. Alright, so I have my line sewn down here, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this. I'm going to pull over here my other pair of pants, and I'm just going to measure it to make sure that they are the same when I go to put this on here. Right, so a little bit less than 1.5 centimeters is what I have left on here. It's right there. I'm gonna go ahead and stick a pin in it. And I will go ahead to match this up here at the end here. just gonna pin this down up here as well. So how I have this one pinned here, I'm just checking it with the other one to make sure that they are looking the same on either side. They look pretty good here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and sew this down, the lining on the inside on the top. Just so that it doesn't move anywhere when I go to sew it later. Alright, and then I'm just going to connect it down here at the bottom as well, just so that it won't go anywhere. Alright, now I'm just going to cut off that excess lining that I have there at the top. Alright, and lastly, on the inside of my lining bag, I'm just going to serge all the way around on all of these edges. So this edge and this edge down here. And then I will be done. Alright, so with that last step, we have our slash pocket here. We got my nice opening here. We can stick our hand inside. On the back, we have our nice enclosed pocket for our hand. And there we go.